Hey everybody, welcome to the Patty G Show. This week we have a great guest in the studio. We actually have a 2-for-1 special. We've got Assured Flooring and Countertops. This was a great episode with Jesse and Philip. We couldn't even get to an intro. The conversation was so great. So I hope y'all enjoy this episode of the Patty G Show. And as always, thank you so very much to the wonderful people and partners that bring you this show each and every week. Falaya Real Estate, Lakeman's Health Center, Horizon Financial Group, and Gage. Y'all enjoy the show.
And we both wanted to do it the same way, like always trying to do our best to do the next right thing, always thinking of ourselves last, always putting the client first, even when it hurts, and maybe we shouldn't have because of whatever reason, right? Maybe we were right in a situation, but it was still more important to put them first. So we had a lot of the same principles, right? And
naturally we did.
Yeah,
It's you know. Yeah.
I love it.
Cool. Yeah.
I love it.
We do too, I think. Yeah.
We do too. I hope so.
Yeah.
You've been in business together for a decade now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, technically, for what, 6 years now? You got to realize. So for me, it's all this like story of grace and just feelings of tons of gratitude because I came on in sales with Jesse. So it was Jesse's baby, right? And I came, and he'll get into the story. He's so good at telling the story. You got to hear it, and he'll do the condensed version.
I'll try my best.
He's really, really good at it. But you know, Jesse hired me as a new partner was buying his old partner out, and so he hired me to do sales. And Jesse was really the sales guy for Assured. He had really done
That's
that
all
for
I've
the first
ever
10
done
years, right?
with sales.
So his other business partner was exiting, and he had to get into the production side of it all, the operations side, and started in sales. Just every day, grinded it out. And quickly, I think Jesse realized that I was as committed as he was, even though I had only been there for a short amount of time. So fast forward a little bit, somehow or another, the idea came like, hey, we just need to do this forever together.
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to fail. Yeah, when you're walking shoulder to shoulder with someone, tackling everyday problems, and you know that person has your back just like you do. You know, I knew I had his back, but as soon as I realized he had my back, like, you don't want to lose that person at the time employee. You know, you don't want to lose an employee that has the company's best interests at heart. So what better way than to trick them into being a
Yeah.
So was it a ploy or was it a sales pitch of, hey, come work for me, work with me. Hey, now you are me.
Yeah, right. No, that's, you know, I always like to, and this is kind of off, not same topic, but what I've always liked about Jesse, many things, but he always had this really cool way of like, even when he first interviewed me, like he told me every reason why I did not want to come work at Assured Flooring and Countertops. He, instead of telling me how great it was going to be, right, and how you're going to be so successful, and it's like, if you're willing to work hard, you got it. It was, let me tell you all the reasons that you might not want to do this. And that was immediately a sign for me that Jesse was the awesome kind of guy that he is, because it was more about my well-being and making sure that I was sure I wanted to do something versus him looking out for what he needed. Right? So
if you can figure out any employee, what makes them happy. Sometimes they don't even know what makes them happy. You know, sometimes you have a body man who thinks he wants to be inside in an air condition all day, you know, and they don't. They're wired to fix things, and every time they fix something, they bring joy into that, you know. Not everybody can sit behind a desk and stare at a computer and crunch numbers and then put a smile on their face when somebody walks in and genuinely try to get to know them, to genuinely see if you have the service or the item they're looking for, you know. A lot of people are just naturally way more selfish. They want you to buy what they're selling. They don't really care if you need it or not. Like, you know, I mean, that's just a natural thing. So to try to find out what brings people joy and then kind of, do you have a spot for them? You know, some people need to lead people. You know, some people need to work beside people. You know, I get way more joy working beside you than leading you. It's just my natural thing. I don't want to sit here and tell you what to do and then come back an hour and, man, you did that? All right, great. Now do this. Like I have to work beside you. And then if me and you accomplish something together, I get natural, you know, I go home naturally high off that. So So we do this. We try to figure out what brings the joy in people. So when I'm interviewing somebody, I want to make sure, hey, this is the hard stuff. If you don't like this, don't waste your time or mine. You know, so that's kind of what I was doing. I was like, hey man, this is the hard part of the job. If I just told you the easy part, well, yeah, you're gonna naturally want to do it. And like, please hire me now. Right.
Yeah.
But I need you to be happy because it's every day for 10 years. And then another 10 years. It's every day. So.
That's right. Philip's got
Yeah, I
he's
got 10
got
more.
he's got another 10 more.
Like,
He's
you're not
signed
done
up
yet.
for.
You're not done yet.
I don't want to sell pipe dreams. We want to offer real dreams. You know?
Well, and there's some excitement in the truth, not necessarily the hype, right? So you can hype up the job all you want, but as soon as you walk through the door that first day and it hits you what you're actually going to be doing, you kind of lose some of that sparkle. Whereas if you just tell them, hey, man, here's everything you're going to do. Here's why you shouldn't come to work for us. And if they're still like, wait, no, that excites me, then it's just a natural relationship.
That's right.
So how do you balance the leader versus work beside you as an owner of a company?
I think we divvy up roles very well. Like we both lead certain divisions, you know? So I guess when we started, there was one person. So there is a leader, you know? But then when you got 15, it's real easy for you to take 7 and me take 7. And then let's collaborate at the end of the day, you know? We also incorporate like a board. You know, we have a board that makes decisions. So it's not one person don't make a decision. You know, we both have to agree to it. And if we disagree, then we bring in the third board member and we to help make sure we're making the best decisions. It's easy to make the wrong decision. Trust me.
Yeah,
that's easy. I need his support in the decisions I make because then I know they're good.
Yeah,
that's a good decision.
And to go a step further on that answer, I think we've been really lucky, Jesse, and I'll second that. I don't know if they're greater, but they're just as good. I think team accomplishments are just as good, if not greater, than individual accomplishments. I think we both feel that way.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right? There's just something fulfilling about seeing your brother or your sister in a work sense or in a whatever sense, like smile and the joy of that victory for them too. We both see that. And I think we've done a good job of, even with the systems we use today, and naturally being maybe the last stop whenever there is an out of the ordinary decision to make for that day or an unusual decision to make. But a lot of our decisions are team decisions, and even though your role is this role and my role is that role, and Jonathan's or Darren's or Hillary's is the other role, we all are working together to the same goal. And we do a good job of communicating that goal to where it's not this version of micromanage or like, you do that, I'm going to go run these errands and I'll come back and make sure you're doing your next thing. It's kind of just like a living organism that's naturally, it's a working together all the time type of feeling. Right?
No, we definitely have to, we feel the need to check in with each other every day. You know, I also need someone to vent to.
Yeah.
So
it's a very real thing.
I got
to solve problem.
Right.
That's good. That's good.
Well, we have this thing all the time. All right, look, just give me a second to vent. All right. Okay, now let's talk about the solution.
Yep.
Like I gotta tell you, this gotta come out raw for a second, you know. That's also fun. I'm a high energetic person. I'll say things wrong, and I like to yell, I like to talk loud, I like to get it out there, and then I can be like, okay, well let's work on it now, you know.
Yeah.
That's just.
But it's like a good talking point in a marriage. You know, hey, is this a venting conversation or is this
Sure.
a problem-solving conversation?
There's no doubt.
Same thing applies in business. All right, are you here to vent to me about whatever customer experience you just had, or are you here with a problem we need to solve together?
Correct.
That's so
correct.
good, and it's so true. I think naturally it's good to open that way, and we try to share this with our leadership team because everyone on that team, it's like high capacity people. Like everybody wants to be a fixer, and sometimes it's like, no, you just need to listen to them. Like I'm not looking. They're not like if one of your people calls you to vent about something, they might just need you to hear them, right? And then when it's time, say, would you like some suggestions on how to make that better, right? But it's you kind of got to be careful to not always fall into that. Like, well, this is how you fix that. So I just needed to tell somebody. I know what I'm supposed to do, right? I know what I'm supposed to do. I just need to get it off my chest.
It's not always fun, and you don't have the energy. You don't. Everybody, you don't have 110% every day.
Yeah.
Some days, man, look, I think it was Monday. I swear I had like 20%. I don't know what it was, but I walked in there Monday like it was 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, man, I just got to get through the day.
It's so funny. That is so funny.
And then some days it's 6 p.m. and I'm like, I guess it's time to go home. Nobody else is here.
That's
like,
right.
You know, so some days you just, you know, that venting helps you reboot and recharge and
that's another thing we do too. I like how you said that because we kind of try to express to our team that like nobody's going to be 110 every day. Like if I can't expect that of myself, I definitely can't expect that out of you. It wouldn't be fair. And this is actually something you came up with a while back. It's like just promise your teammate, promise your client, promise your family. Like I'm just going to give you the best I have every day that day.
That's it.
Whatever that looks like.
Sometimes it's not that good.
That's right.
And that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, it's
now if you don't if that's all you have every day, well now we got a problem.
We got a different conversation.
Now it's
a different
conversation.
Right.
Now I don't care if you need to vent. We need a problem solved.
Exactly. It's time to fix this.
And you're the problem because you are 20% every day.
Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the brand new Falia mobile app. We took all the same tech that's helped hundreds of people sell their homes themselves and packed it into an easy-to-use app for your phone. When you download the Falia mobile app on either the Apple or Android App Store, you'll immediately be able to see the power of this game-changing tool. From the seller's dashboard, you can navigate to all the information that you need. We intentionally separated everything into key groups, such as tasks to be completed, buyer leads for your listing, and contact information for everyone involved through closing. When you get an offer on your property, you can simply review and respond all within the app. No matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to monitor everything that's going on with your property from listed to sold. It's truly the power of Falia in the palm of your hand. Download the app and see for yourself. Falia, it's real estate reimagined.
Those team members often don't last very long.
Yeah, if you're doing the right things, right, and
if you're helping them build, but they're just consistently like, look, this is 20%, then say, I'm always of the belief of like, if you can't give 100% and it's been a long period of time, maybe you're not in the right role to give your 100%. So let's either move you around to figure out where you can give your 100%, or at the end of the day, you also have to be accepting that this organization as a whole is not where you can give 100%.
That's right. We call them seats, right? And we've gotten to this place where if we notice that somebody is that let's say they're a great person, right? They carry our core values. They're doing the right person. They're doing all the right things. They're living the right way, but they're not in the right seat or position. Our first thing isn't, well, they're just not where. It's like, where else could I put you? Are we failing you by not seeing what your strong suits are and putting you there? And is there another place that you could go where, like you were hitting on earlier, you might be more happy, more productive, produce more?
Yeah, usually if somebody's not giving it their all, they're not happy. Typically,
right?
They're not feeling them joys. You know, like I said, I can watch you do what you do and tell you how to do it and walk away, but I don't get the same joy as if I help you. So if somebody's not getting them wins every day, well, they're not going to be happy. They're not going to produce the same. So finding that spot that makes them happy, you'd be surprised at how many people don't even realize what makes them happy. Like they just, in a work environment.
Yeah.
You know, they don't realize what makes them tick and them little wins, what they get. I mean, we did what was that thing we did? It's called the Working Genius.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Love that. Yep.
This thing's called the Working Genius.
Thing.
Yeah. And when you hear the name, it makes you think, well, where would this person be smart at? Because the Working Genius, right? But it was really all about where would they be happy at. So when I'm giving you the Working Genius test, you probably think naturally, I'm trying to test to see how good you are in certain areas, but really I'm trying to see where you'll be happy, like what type of personality, and that's some tool we use to try to see where someone would get little joys, little wins. Because if you're getting wins, man, you're naturally going to give more effort. You know, I know. You know, I can remember being a kid and somebody told me that I was fast at running, so I just thought I was fast at running. I don't know if I was or not, you know, but I ran harder the next time I went and ran because I thought I was fast. So when I raced you, I would run faster to win because I thought I could. But I know if somebody told me I couldn't run, I wouldn't have put the effort out. I wouldn't have got the joy out of running. You know, it wouldn't have even been fun.
Yeah.
You know, so them little wins, the joys, that's a natural thing that, man, if you can find it and pull it out of people, they'll run harder for longer, faster.
Somebody once told me, you know, if I've got a kid or somebody that is not performing well in soccer but is doing really, really well in baseball or another sport, I'm not getting them a coach for soccer. I'm getting them a coach for that sport they're succeeding at and want to get better at, because you naturally are drawn to what you want to do. And so let's just put fuel on that fire rather than try to build up this other side that you're not gravitating towards.
Oh, yeah, that fire will blow up. It's where the other one, it'll fizzle out quick.
Yeah, all that oxygen just gets suffered.
Yeah, definitely.
So y'all became partners not a decade ago, not
2018-ish.
not whatever the time, 6 years or so ago. But I want to get into the story of how you first got started, Jesse.
Oh my God, I can't. I just can't. I can't. I don't even know where to start because it starts back in 1992.
All right.
But I'm not going to start there. I know I'm not going to start there.
You get this love and passion for flooring.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely is not what happened. So I'm on my pre-honeymoon before I got married. I'm in Florida. Let me skip all that because it's part of. It's all so relevant, but.
Then tell it. If
really
it's relevant,
is.
we got to hear.
It's too long.
I'll know you when you got to
Look, we are here. We are here. We got a big drive.
Go. Awesome.
So my fiance left me. I'm driving down the street on my street bike. It's all I had. Pull up to this motorcycle shop. Bought a motorcycle shop with everything I had. So I'm sleeping on the couch in the motorcycle shop. Okay.
Yeah, that just happened. He didn't buy a motorcycle. He bought a shop.
I bought a motorcycle shop.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt, but I've already got 12 questions.
Right.
So keep going. All right.
So
fiance left you. Ride a
everything
motorcycle.
I had, drove out the house
shop,
that I
of
bought.
course.
Yeah, and like a little bit of cash in my pocket and these. So I buy in this motorcycle shop, and I met this guy who owns Carpet Kingdom, which I used to work at back in 1992 in the warehouse. Okay. And next thing you know, I'm selling flooring at this carpet shop. Okay.
While you bought the motorcycle shop.
The motorcycle shop didn't last long. Okay. It didn't last long. So we're selling carpet. Everything's so relevant to lead up to how it happened, but I'm skipping so much of the fun stuff.
Well,
really.
don't skip the fun stuff.
I have to because it's too long. But because I got to answer your question, I'll never answer your question. You'll be like, time's up.
No, there's no time limit. Come on, go ahead.
So I'm at Carpet Kingdom. I'm engaged again.
That was quick.
Yeah, that's right. Like 30 seconds. I went from one relationship to another. So, but we had to take our honeymoon before we got married because we wanted to go on this poker run, a big boat.
Yeah.
I had this big power boat at the time, and we wanted to go.
See, we missed the whole powerboat excursion of this story. Where did the powerboat come into the picture?
1993.
Got it.
Okay. So we're sitting in Florida. We're getting married 2 weeks later. And I'm sitting there, and this guy, man, he won't shut up about this. I didn't even know this guy. He's like, finally, he's like, man, what you do? I sell flooring. Oh, man, you need to open up your own flooring store. I'm like, look, dude, I just spent I sell carpet. I make $500 a week. I just spent everything I made to get here this weekend.
Right.
Like, I'm not about to open anything. I don't have nothing. Like, legitimately, last dollar was on this vacation. I think we had like another $300 to pay the DJ at the wedding 2 weekends from them. But I was going to get a paycheck between now and then, so I wasn't that worried, right? So we get another $500.
Right, so you had $800 at the end of that weekend.
Yeah. So we're sitting there, and this guy keeps on, man, talking. I said, you know what? I had been talking about to Carpet Kingdom that, hey, tile and wood's the future. We got to start selling more tile and wood. It's got like nobody's doing carpet no more.
This is the 90s.
Yeah. This was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, they were doing carpet back then in the living room and in the hall. Remember, everybody used to put carpet in the living room.
And that's the first thing homeowners do nowadays when they buy an old 80s house.
Rip it out.
They rip all the carpet out.
So I started thinking maybe I can get these people who own Carpet Kingdom to buy this tile store because it was called Euro Tile, and I was like, maybe I could get them to buy it. So, man, like, look, this guy, he was just so crazy. He was like 30,000. Then like 10 minutes later, all right, 20,000. And I'm like, I ain't got no money, and he's
to
like,
sell the whole company.
he's trying to get me to buy this company, And next thing you know, he's down to like 7,000. He's like, all right, look, Jesse, I own the building. I just need 2 months rent. Okay, give me 2 months rent, and you can have everything in the building. So I didn't know at the time, but this guy he owned the building, and the guy was behind 2 months. He had evicted the guy, had problems or whatever, and he was like he was about to have to go clean this building out.
Oh, so this guy let me get this straight. This guy is at the poker run with you.
Not with me, just somebody I met by the pool.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah.
so you meet him by the pool, and you're having this conversation, and then he ends up telling you, I evicted my tenant.
He didn't tell me none of that at the time.
Okay.
He's trying to sell me a flooring store.
Right.
And he don't tell me any details, I'm not asking any because
You don't
I don't
want
have
it.
no money, and yeah, but correct. So
Okay.
So the deal was he owns this building, and he's dreading having to go back home and clean it out. It's got a whole bunch of different flooring on the ground. You got to bust all that up, get it ready for the new tenant. And he started thinking, well, man, this guy can just move in. I got to do nothing. He's like, oh, I'm going to give you everything. Do you mean you don't have to go clean up your mess? I'll do it for you. That's like what he meant, right? So anyway, I'm asking, I start thinking, I'm going to get my boss to buy this company, and I'm going to go manage it for him. And so I had a rep at the time, because I used to place a lot of orders. I knew all the reps. I'd been working at this carpet store for about, 6-7 years at this point. So I was pretty familiar with the reps. So I called a couple of them and just, hey man, first, is this a real store? And apparently, so I'm like trying to kind of inquire about it, and my phone rings, and it's my boss. So of course I answer, and he's like, F you, you're fired. And I'm like thinking he's joking, So I'm like, yeah, bro, F you too, yeah, you're right. I'm never coming back. And I'm like, wait, I think he's serious, So I'm like, I like try to call him back. He cusses me and hangs up. I try to call the wife, because we had this great relationship. I mean, we work together. I'm running this store, I call the wife, and she's pretty much the same way. And
and just out of the blue calls you.
Out of the blue.
But you were on the phone with a rep asking questions.
Yes, I'm like, this has been a 10-minute conversation between me and this guy by the pool. Him going from 30,000 down to like 7 in a matter of like 7 minutes, and then I'm on the phone for 2 or 3 minutes trying to
with the rep, and then you get the call.
And I get the call, right?
So this is within 15-minute conversation.
Yeah.
You go from meeting this new person, talking to a rep, and your boss calls you.
Yeah, the new guy.
So this is all this is like legitimately 15-minute span.
Yes. My
Holy
wife's sitting here
smokes.
tanning. I'm sitting here, pina colada. This other guy's sitting here. I don't know what he's on, but he is talking fast.
Yeah.
He is going.
And they're where are you on the vacation, right?
Yeah, everybody's here on this poker run.
Okay.
They have a boat.
Your boss too?
Oh yeah, they know I'm on my honeymoon.
Okay.
This is my honeymoon
But he's not there.
before-
He's not there.
But he's not at this
Correct,
with
correct.
you.
Correct,
right,
correct.
that's
No,
right.
he
Got it,
calls
got
me
it,
from
got it.
home.
I just want to make sure he's not on the other side of the pool
No,
over hearing
no,
this
no.
conversation
Right.
and then making the phone call.
No, he's calling me from home. Well, about 3 weeks prior, and this is the crazy part, but I'm gonna just tell it to you anyway. And they don't even know this. I think I did tell them eventually. I caught the warehouse guy stealing a roll of carpet, and I didn't turn him in. I basically told him, you do that again, and I'm gonna turn you in. You can go to jail. You know what I mean?
So in the 90s, what's a roll of carpet going for?
120 yards, $3, $360.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about massive fraud here, but fraud nonetheless.
Correct.
Got it. All right.
I thought that somehow they thought I did, and that's why they were firing me at the time. So I was like embarrassed, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh my God, how am I about to tell we're getting married in 2 weeks that I just got fired, and we just spent all our money, and like we cannot go on the poker run because we don't have no gas to put in the boat. Like this is it, we got to go home, And so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh God. So back in 1992, I got this credit card. This credit card had a $20,000 limit on it. And fast forward, I'm skipping some parts.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I start thinking like, man, I wonder if I can pay this guy on a credit card, you know,
To buy the business.
And back then, you used to get these checks in the mail, 0% interest checks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to hook you on everything.
Right. So I said, man, I'm going to call them up and see if they can get me these checks, you know. So my wife their fiance don't know none of this. You know, I'm
Right.
just sitting here. She don't know I got fired, you know. So now I'm like really panicking here. And I'm like, I got to buy this flooring store, you know.
So, and this is all within an hour.
This is within an hour.
Okay.
So I go and I call City Card and you know, hey, I've seen y'all mail me these checks before. Is that a promotion? Oh, yes, sir. I was like, well, man, how can I get some? Oh, we can next day them to you. Oh, really? Like I'll get them tomorrow? Yes, sir. Well, can you send them to my hotel? Oh, yes, sir. What's the address? So they next day me some checks. So I go sit back down and I'm like, all right, so how much will you take for this flooring store? Yeah, sold basically, you know. Why you sitting over there like, what? Like I didn't tell her any of this. So that's how I got into the flooring business.
Right.
Okay. That was the long story short.
So you got into the flooring business via Pina Colada Poolside and
Exactly.
Citibank sending you some 0% checks.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
All right. So I mean, we got to keep going. Now I'm hooked.
So we come back from the poker run.
Yeah.
You know, we have a good time and we meet these people and we're getting married like the next weekend or something. And, you know, we get married and we don't go on a honeymoon or we don't have no money, you know, and like this is it. I have no paycheck coming in now. Right.
Yeah. So did you ever get back in touch with your boss?
So about 3 weeks later,
Okay.
I found out that they fired me because one of the reps I called them and told them, like as soon as I hung up with them, they called my boss and said, Jesse's buying a flooring store. I didn't know this, but one of my reps was Eurotile's best friend. He was like,
And it's a very tight knit community, like the
Yeah.
flooring
Yeah.
community. Like
Yeah.
you hear this, it travels quickly.
yeah.
Clearly,
hindsight,
very quick.
I mean, it was in a matter of a
It makes a
minute.
lot of
Yeah,
sense.
very
Hindsight, right?
quick.
It's
Yeah,
like,
hindsight, it makes a lot of sense,
right.
you know? And so, you know, look, eventually they heard the story that I was asking for y'all, not me. Well, by then it was too late.
Too late. Yeah.
by
Damage
then-
had been done. You'd already got the checks.
Yeah, by then I'm like, yeah, I'm out here. So we're back in Baton Rouge and we're trying to open up this store. And next thing you know, the $20,000 credit card limit's gone. You know, I don't know anything about opening a business, you know. I mean, my motorcycle shop didn't make it, obviously, right? So we're sitting there, and I'm out by the street holding up a sign, you know, with no power in the building, and drives by the guy bought in on the motorcycle shop. You know, he drives by, and when we went out of business in the motorcycle shop, he started laying floors because when we had the motorcycle shop on the weekend, I knew how to lay floors. So we would go lay floors together, and that's how we would kind of make money. And we'd go, you know, lay this wood job and make some good money. So when the motorcycle shop didn't work out, he started laying floors, working for me and my buddy at the carpet store. So he drives by and sees me and basically whips in there like, bro, what are you doing? Like, I'm following you. I'm like, well, man, I don't have no money. I don't know what to tell you. You know, like, I don't even know how to get the power turned on here. So Mike Abear is like, I tell you what, I can get some money. And I'm like, where are you going to get some? Don't worry about it. I can get some money. I said, well, I put up 20 grand. He goes, I'll get 20 grand. Boom, we back in business, baby.
we back on.
Now,
we
I
back
said,
on.
perfect. Because, you know, I had sold like 1 or 2 backsplashes at this point in time because when I inherited the business, I had like this 1 pallet of tile in the warehouse.
Right.
So like I would sell you this tile and go put it up on your backsplash. And that's kind of all I did up until now. So Mike comes by and I'm like, perfect. I'm a sell, you install. We're 50-50. And so that's how we started, me and Mike Abear in a flooring business after our motorcycle shop didn't succeed. You know?
This episode is proudly presented by Gage. Gage is a local company here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. For over 40 years, Gage has provided businesses with the very best telecommunications, IT, and standby power services available. Gage has a variety of services, including Gage Cloud Voice. It is the last phone system your business will ever need. You need to give your business the ability to be accessible anytime, anywhere, and with Gage's cloud-based phone system, you'll be able to accomplish just that. Not only do they have Gage Cloud Voice, they have fully managed IT services that are proactive network monitoring, 24/7, 365, help desk, business continuity. They are there for you. What you're also going to need is some cybersecurity. Gage is there to safeguard your business from potential cyber threats, even when you aren't aware they exist. Gage also is power and leaders in standby generators. They are the #1 Cummins dealer on the Gulf Coast and provide generators to homes and businesses of any size so you can keep life going. Gage, better connected, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show.
So you started that in 2004, and he came in a month later.
A month later, he was partners, yeah.
So from that point on, I mean, what are the events that lead up to Philip?
Long story there too.
Man,
A longer story.
Yeah, me and Mike had a. We didn't have. I'm gonna say not the best relationship. He didn't. I'm struggling. I'm trying to like survive. You know, he's got a little bit more family backing than I did. You know, so for him, it's gonna be okay. I'm like, what do you mean? I can't pay rent this month. Like,
right.
What do you mean it's gonna be okay? You know, you mean it's okay for you? But I'm trying to build this business and after not seeing eye to eye on where the company should go and what it should do, I pretty much was ready to quit, or I actually did quit. Like, you know, I quit one day. Me and him was done. I quit, and he wouldn't buy me out, and I didn't have a penny to buy him out. And so I called one of my buddies up, and I said, "Hey man, I need a job, like sweeping your floor at y'all's machine shop, because these people were doing good." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna get this job, and I'm gonna be doing good too. I want a yacht." You know, right? So he says, man, he knew some of my struggles. We had been friends, you know, and he basically said, man, I'm gonna talk to my dad. How about we buy Mike out? So me and Rafe Guidry and Mr. David Guidry, we're all like partners now in this flooring store, and basically it was like, all right, well, what's our problems? Well, we got 100 problems that need solving today, but in order for me to do this, I sell. You could look at the books that do this. I'd sell, and then no sales because I'd have to manage getting it all done, you know. And you could look at the sales. They were just, it was like obvious, you know. When I sold so much one month, next month I couldn't sell nothing because I had to get it all installed. So
you didn't have a person there.
Didn't have a person to like assist me in what we were doing. So Ray finds Philip on just Facebook back then. I didn't even have Facebook
like a group text message.
Yeah.
He just blasted it out to all these people he knew.
Yeah,
looking for an inside salesperson.
Yeah, so his brother and Rafe knew each other, and so his brother's like, man, you gotta hire Philip. And I'm like, well, if he's dumb enough, tell him to come on. So that's whenever me and Philip interviewed. He came along to be the salesperson in training, and like I said, like he said, when he came on board, it was very obvious that, you know, he was calling me every day because he got thrown in the, when I say thrown to the wolves. I think we had 12 employees, and then overnight, just 4 of us stayed, and like everybody else was gone. And so my wife at the time was working for us, and she became like the trainer, and she trained Philip, and she trained a few people at the Perkins store, and I was at the Segan store trying to make it all happen. And but he would call me every night, and like, man, we would talk and like train more, like after work. You know, it was like, let me learn about this and tell me about this, and we would just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And that was a year of that. Well, next thing you know, he didn't have to call me anymore, and he was like handling business, you know. And so that's whenever I kind of went to Rafe, like, man, we got to figure out a way to bring him on board. Like I cannot keep doing this without a partner that's walking side by side. I think Philip's the key. So we started thinking outside the box.
And I think it's important to note too, you knew when Rafe and his dad bought Mike out, this wasn't something Rafe was trying to put 120% into every day. He had a vision like, look, I'm going to help you get out of this situation. And this was a blessing for me because it left an opening for me to fill that space that you needed. But Rafe's intention was to come in here and say, look, I'm gonna a year or 2 years get it nice and tight, kind of get it back in order, get it healthy, and then I'll sit back here. You draw a salary, we'll distribute money as we have it, and we're good to go. I think that left an opening for me to say, like, hey,
yes,
if we want to take this as far as I think we do, like you'll need somebody else giving it 120% every day. Like
Correct.
We need to be completely committed to it together.
That's exactly right. When Rafe came on board, he knew, and I knew, he wasn't trying to be in the weeds for long. He was just trying to like save the day. I mean, I think when they first came on board, we were like $1.3 million in debt. We owed everybody everything, and like it had no money coming in. I could not believe, looking back now, I could not believe him and his dad bought in on this company. Like I just couldn't believe it. Now knowing what I do now,
that's called goodwill, like on a balance
right,
sheet.
right.
They saw him.
Yeah. He'll tell you every day. He was like, Jesse,
it had
bought
nothing
you.
to do with the books. It had to do with Jesse.
Yeah, we knew the company was bad.
Yeah,
but we knew you were good.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So and Mr. David, Rafe's dad, I mean, he's the one who really I gotta kind of give all the credit to almost, because me and Philip were just workers. He really, I would call him every morning at 5 a.m. on the way to work. From 5 to 6, we would talk, and he would like, all right, do you know what a P&L is? I'm like, a what? So he was teaching me all that stuff and the finance stuff while I was teaching Philip the business, and so I was growing in that area with Mr. David while he was learning the flooring and countertop business. So he definitely mentored me and like helped me understand processes and protocols and how important those types of things were. So, and organization, and everybody's got their own role to play, and it's got to be very clear, and it can't be confusing. And, a lot of things that circle back whenever you go get like a business coach or something. I mean, that's what he did. He was a business coach for me for, 1 to 2 years every day. Wow. Every day.
Businesses are so different, right? But there's a few certain things that every successful one has to do, from the accountability, knowing what each person's responsible for, having a detailed process, an operating procedure or a protocol for that, the flow chart for that. Those things that honestly, for me, I tackle them. It's not necessarily my happy place, but we've learned together through this process that if we don't have that, we don't have anything. All the sales, it's just like having important financials, right? Like all the sales in the world, are great, but if you're not doing steps 1 through 30 to make it a good sale, a good process, project for the client, and closing it out the right way, it's not sustainable. You can't scale without it.
Correct. Scalability is the key. I mean, how can you go get a loan if you're working for cash and everything? And a lot of people, when they first starting their business, they want to hide everything, and it's like, man, that is just the worst move I think a startup business can make.
Because you're fooling yourself ultimately. Like you can't.
You cannot hide everything. Like that you can't grow that. Like Mr. David taught me how to like keep real books and keep them organized and actually show I made money and pay the taxes on the money I made and write off when I can write off and help offset that. And now I can go get a loan, and now I can go buy a truck and stuff like that, because stated income went out the door a long time ago in America. I think that was back in like 92, which was also part of the
It's part of the story. Is that part of the story?
Part of the story. Part of the story. How I bought my house.
That's so good.
Left me,
so
and
good.
I didn't have the house anymore. That's definitely part of the story. So.
Yeah, and then I think that's important regardless of industry, is knowing you've got clean financials that are accurate, reliable, and timely. Like you've got to have that to make decisions.
Of course.
So important.
Yeah. And a lot of just startup businesses, they think it's just all about high. I mean, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and he was trying to just go buy a vehicle for his business. Like, man, I made really good money last year. I'm like, all right, well, I said, well, then why can't you go buy? Oh, because I did it all cash. It's all in my pocket. I'm like,
well, then you got to buy the vehicle with the cash in your pocket.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So
entrepreneurs are often scared to pay the tax. Like, how can I get that number down as low as possible?
It's like, well, then you got to spend the cash.
That's right.
You can't just sit there and say, oh, well, no, let's just make the things look worse than they are.
Correct.
But then you want to have all that. Like, you can't get it on both ends.
Yeah. So I remember I went to get a small business loan at one point, and the bank was basically like, well, what do you have? I'm like, nothing. That's why I'm here trying to well, you don't have no collateral? I'm like, I don't even know what collateral is. That's how much I have of collateral.
So
you know? And so I went back and I was writing down all the collateral I had, a weed eater.
Yeah,
I think I had like
some Jordans,
a bicycle.
some Jordans,
yeah, a bicycle,
decent pair of jeans.
And so I go back. I'm like, yeah, this is everything I got. Well, that increased like $100. I'm like, okay, well, that's what I have. And so my point is, you can't if you're trying to get a loan and you're trying to go to anybody. It doesn't matter if it's a bank or if it's an individual. They want to know, how are you going to pay them back? And what do you have if you can't pay them back? And if your answer is zero, I don't have anything, and I don't have, then why do you think they're about to loan you some money? Because you had like an idea for a lawn business. Everybody has that. You know, you can't. You got to have more credibility than that. And that's something they should be teaching kids in school for sure. Credit and stuff like that, and how important it is. And
there's no doubt.
Yeah. Something that should start a lot earlier and
Absolutely.
be across the curriculum.
But not everybody's going to have an avenue to learn that or to understand that or to get that or to have the mentor to teach them that. And we all need to know how to do it. Like, it's better for us all when we all need to know how to manage our money.
So what's your background, Philip? How did you get we heard this side of the story. What's your
full
side of the
disclosure,
story?
mine's not nearly as cool. Obviously my story at Assured Flooring picks up right where he said Rafe texted my brother. But prior to that, really, Patrick, I was really just always in the service industry. Like everybody else, I had my own lawn and landscaping business. Did that for a couple of years. But everything from lifeguarding at 14 years old to raising canes to owning a lawn and landscape. By the way, Raising Canes, shout out. They taught me so much about just those processes that we're talking about. Things like they always put, you never sacrifice quality for speed, just the importance of delivering the right product, servicing the client, customer service. And then some restaurants, just one-off restaurants, and then eventually opened my lawn and landscaping business until I got the text to come on board with you over at Assured Flooring. So service industry, born and raised in Baton Rouge, went to Catholic school until I was in 10th grade, and then eventually went to Baton Rouge High, graduated from there, and started getting to work.
So did you sell your landscaping business?
If your motorcycle shop was worth nothing, my lawn and landscaping actually, hold on, I'm going back. Yes, I did. I sold like 50 accounts, probably for way too little. And that guy still has those accounts. He's a successful business owner in town. And then I did sell my equipment to a buddy of mine. He had a big old piece of property. He needed my little 36-inch hustler.
Right. I sold my lawn business to a buddy of mine too.
Is he still in business?
No, he did it for about probably 10 years, and then he's got rid of it. So
He said we were using my parents' lawn equipment to make our lawn business happen.
Y'all
so
were?
we just gave it back.
Everybody's had a lawn business, right? How good is that?
Oh yeah, I had one for like 8 years probably.
it's a good thing. We know you're an entrepreneur because you start a lawn business.
Right, you took one of the
You can't
most
call yourself one until you've had one.
labor-intense jobs you could
There's no
think
doubt,
of,
especially in Louisiana.
Right.
and you made it happen. So where is what is the current state of Assurance nowadays? Where are we at today, 20 years later, from Citibank $20,000 maxed out credit card?
Man, I think I guess I'll go on that one. I think we're in a place of excitement right now. We've just kind of restructured some of the ways we're doing things within the business. Jesse and I'd say about 7 months ago, made a commitment to continue doing what I think brings us most of our happiness at work, which is creating paths for our team to find more success in a career sense. So, we said this a long time ago. Like, if we were doing this for he and I, we could either kind of just stay here or really have probably retired. You probably were retired 5 years ago.
We could probably sell the company right now and
be okay, because neither
okay.
one of us are trying to go have any outlandish. Like we're not drove by that. It doesn't excite us. We just want to be comfortable, happy, and really
Family, you know?
family.
Yeah.
And so, but we made a commitment about 6 or 7 months ago to take a deeper dive into scaling our bit. Yeah. I thought you were going to say that was only 6 months ago. It felt like 3 years ago.
It does.
It really does for me too.
Man, we have worked so hard and had so much like just grind in the last 6 months.
I'll go as far back to say a year when we made some changes at our CFO position. You and I have been in a really amazing season of growth together in our business, but it has been a bit of a grind. It
hasn't been as fun because to grow what we're trying to do, it's not as fun. Because you got to measure things and you got to hold each other accountable, and you can't. It's just not as fun to be like, hey man, you need to do better. That's not as fun. And I need to do more. I'm looking at it, and I'm failing, and to look at yourself like that, like we've always given 100%. But when we make the commitment, hey, we're gonna do this for our team, not for us. Well, we can't stop.
That's right. And that's the best kind of energy to have, right? Like for me, I think you hit on this earlier, like it's hard for me to run out of energy when I'm doing something for someone else. Right? Or it's a lot easier to strap the boots back on when it's not for me. I'll gas out real quick when it's for me and I'll get bored with it.
Yeah, so we made the commitment 7 month year, I don't even know the time. You're probably way better at dates than that we want to grow and we want to really give an opportunity for the people in our organization to grow, and to let them live out their whatever path they can find happiness. And hey, some people, the happiness is right where they are. I'm a salesperson and I'm happy with this paycheck and selling this and working. And then
these hours and this flexibility.
Yeah. And some people are like, hey, I want to get to a place of employment where my spouse don't have to work, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes and work and grow. And same thing y'all have done to get there. Like, well, the only way I can offer that to that person is if the company grows. There's not a spot for them right there, right now, unless this person left. Well, I don't want to lose this person because they're vital, So I can say, well, just sit here and one day somebody will leave, or I guess we got to grow so I can get you in that spot you want to be in. And that's why we decided to
make that commitment.
Yeah, to make that commitment to grow and we want to double in size and have, so that'll lead to opportunities for the people that are putting that grind in every day like us. So yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun.
All the time.
Yeah.
It's still mostly fun.
Yeah.
We cut up. We have a good time.
Oh, definitely.
So doubling in size, did you establish a timeline for that?
We did.
3 years.
We did.
Like,
it's 3 years.
So double in 3 years.
Yeah, we want to double in 3 years.
That's an audacious goal.
That's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right.
It's supposed to be. That's. I mean, it's not easy. It's
No.
you, like I was saying. You have to set a path to get there, and now you got to hold everybody accountable, which means now I got to measure your performance. As where before it was just like, I could see you're doing good, man. Come on,
just keep
great.
it up.
That was fun. Keep it up. Well, now that's not good enough. If you're trying to double in 3 years, you have to hit the number, and if you don't hit the number, you're letting everybody's dreams down. So that can be a lot of stress and hard.
It's definitely heavy.
So was there ever a point in time that you can think back to where you were like, okay, now we got to flip the switch. Now we got to go from being, we're fun, the numbers come in at what they are, to, no, we want to double in size. We want to hit these metrics, and now we got to start measuring it. Was there a point in time that happened, or was it
6 to 7 months ago? That was right around that time, right?
Yeah.
Right, we were taking a hard look at everything. So, that was that point in time. We Jesse had actually connected with some guys, I think that we buy equipment from in Florida, and they were doing a hybrid of a certain operating system that's out there that kind of shows you kind of what that path might look like. And he got back from that trip and he said, look, I want to introduce you to this guy, and I want to kind of let you know kind of like what they're all about, and me and you make a decision if we want to kind of do that hybrid version or do this operating system that they're saying is pretty good. And in those conversations, we said, I'll never forget. I think we were in those talks, and we always go back and forth. right? I'll give an answer one day that's different than yours, and then you'll give that same answer, and I'll switch. But I think at that meeting, it was, well, what do y'all want to, where do you want to take this business revenue-wise? And I think we were like $50 million apart from each other. And I was like, where did that come from? I'm like, you said you want to retire in 2 years. And we dug into it, and he kind of shared why he said that. And, of course, I agree with why he said that. And so, yeah, that's when we made that commitment.
Right.
Imagine taxiing on a plane looking toward the end of the runway. It seems so far away, it's even hard to see it. And that's what the concept of retirement probably felt like when you were in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, way far in the distance, not visible or even a concern. But as you turn 50, something happens. Retirement suddenly seems like something real, something not too far away. In your 50s, you are rolling down the runway. Retirement is getting closer and closer, faster and faster, weeks and months zipping by. But are you even ready for a successful takeoff to retirement? Fear not, there's still runway left. But the time is now. Time to make progress and time to get a plan. The Runway Decade will help you get organized, get energized, and give you the direction you need to take off to your desired retirement. The Runway Decade, building a pre-retirement flight plan in your 50s.
So how important is it to bring in that third person as part of the board meetings when those occasions occur? As entrepreneurs listening and they're in partnerships one-on-one, having that third person, how often have they come into play and been that kind of, compass on which way to go?
So,
not very often.
Not very often. We've done a really good job setting up our operating agreement in a way, not to like, of course, to protect everyone, but also to like help us make those decisions. There's certain certain dollar amount purchases. There's certain
Philip and I can't just make that decision on our own. We have to get his okay.
Now, and even though that third partner is different, and Jesse, you said it early on, Jesse, we are very similar. We think similarly but differently. We understand the benefit a lot of times of having that third guy. And when we come to him, he and I are very good at poking holes in each other's ideas or thoughts to get to an answer. And it's healthy, and it's like a trust session, right? It's like, oh, that's not right. It should be this way or that way. And we go back and forth. And then when we really land, and I'd say 90% of the time, we're like, nope, that's the right answer. But that 10% of the time, that third partner, he's business savvy. His dad was business savvy. He's known business for a long time, and he's a lot different than Jesse and I.
Yeah,
which is really healthy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he brings that. It's almost like in a weird way we're excited to bring something to him because it is so different or such a.
Yeah, he'll give us a different perspective on it. Definitely. But we do that to each other. Like it's kind of a natural thing we both do, and I don't think we realized we were doing it for years at first.
Right,
and it was like, no, we're gonna now we know we do it, and it's like, all right, let me convince you of why this is a good idea. Well, even if it's my idea, then let me convince you why it's not, and let's swap the roles, and like let's get both perspectives, good and bad, from your point of view and my point of view. And usually when we do that, it's pretty
easy
clear
to find the answer.
So like, is this right? Is it wrong? And a lot of times it's like we end with, hey, let's be real. We're making all this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Everything we just said, we made up. That's right. So how does it feel?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like,
that's good.
Yeah. We're going to start this business and we got a budget. Well, I just made it up.
Yeah. And all of these are anecdotal numbers.
Right. Anecdotal.
Budgets that aren't based on actual is just like we're shooting.
It's pretty
in
wild.
The general direction we think it's going to go, but we could hit on this side of the board and end up way over
crazy,
here
right?
in one way or another, or in every single line item we budgeted for.
No,
it's like. When you then look at actual and you then build it off of that, you have a little bit more of a steering. But if you're like, all right, we're going to double this, what does that even look like?
Yeah.
Look, how do we even go from this to doubling that? What does that take? What are the man hours that's required within there? How many more staff do we need? Like all this stuff floods in when you make that commitment that you don't
have any idea what to do.
That's right. You might have a better guess than the other person because you've been in the business for 20 years, but you're still guessing some of it. It's still a guess. So,
I think what makes y'all so great is that level of trust you have between each other. To not throw your hands up as soon as one objection comes back. You're like, whoa, why are you coming at me like that? Rather than say, okay, well, yeah, I didn't see that point, I didn't see this, but what about this? And so having that open dialogue is truly what makes any partnership going to become a successful level they can and double their size. You've got to have the ability to sit down and be open in business and say, yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. You're right. Let's explore that avenue. And then it just happens back and forth.
Yeah. And then to train our team that it's okay for them to do it as well. I mean, look, we do it and trust each other, but now you got to train this manager and this manager for this manager to be able to tell that manager you're not doing good or you're wrong, and then take that in a healthy way. Like we can do it. That's no big deal. But now, how are we going to get them to do it?
So how has that process been?
It's it's been good. No, it's been good. We have a specific leadership team that made a commitment to be on that leadership team because they do want the things that we spoke on that come with doubling in size and those benefits. And man, our team's great. So it makes it. I'm gonna say it makes it really easy on us.
It actually is a lot easier than how it sounded when I just said.
Yeah,
they because first off,
they see us doing it,
and
right.
We laid the foundation down. Like, this is what you're going to do in this room. At this time, we're going to challenge each other, and we're going to say things, and we actually started by challenging them both. Or all of them. We one of our guys. We set him down, and we're basically like, we've evaluated you, and we don't even want you working here. That's how bad you are. Like, you're about to get. It caused us to do this. Do you want it? Do you get it? Do you have the capacity to do it? And like, this dude don't get what we're doing. Like he is just going to destroy this company. And like, we got to fire him. And then we caught him in and we fired him. And then the next day it was like, the way he handled it, it's like, wait, maybe all them talks did help and did change. Like he agrees that he's not the right person,
but he needs to work on those things.
Yeah, but he was saying, "I'll work on it. Like, give me a challenge." Well, that's what we wanted, And so, so you'll come in this room and let us tell you all that, and then you'll come the next day and say you're willing to work hard and overcome all that. That's exactly what we want to do in this room. So, yeah, it was weird because we laid out what would happen in the room, and then we did it in this weird way, and then everybody understood how it felt.
Kind of let them make that decision. Like, do you want to be a part of sessions like that? Do you want to be that involved? If you want to make that commitment, this is what that looks like. And they all sign their name with the blood oath on the dotted line, right?
Some
in
people
blood,
just want pats on the back.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Maybe they didn't. Not everybody got that growing up, and they just want pats on the back. Some people, it don't matter how many times you pat them, they always feel like they're not good enough, and they just you're gonna do everything they can to prove you wrong. Some people need a partner to work beside and motivate and encourage. Some people need to see other people succeeding from what they did to feel good. I mean, that goes back to the happiness and the joy and what brings you joy and what brings you happiness and figuring all that out. And different people take different ways. So it goes all the way back to that. I think we got lucky and found a few people that want to lead the company the way we do, and they're okay with hearing the hard things you got to hear to grow as a person,
Yeah, it goes back to that genius test. Figuring out what makes people happy.
Right. I mean, by the way, that's great. I don't know if you've done that. It's pretty awesome.
I've heard of it. I haven't done it personally, but it sounds like I need to do that. Yeah. I mean, that's just having that data and having something tell you and putting down in words what you've been thinking and feeling, and kind of just like, oh wait, yeah, that's right. I do.
I
really
didn't even know what I didn't even know certain things about my personality until we took that test. Like,
it's like once we did, it's like, oh yeah, this is right.
Yep,
that's
I
right.
See that. Yep.
For example, exactly. I'm only going to get you to 80%. Let me just tell you, I'm getting you to 80%, and then I'm bored. Like, we're going to start something else. Okay, you finished it. Hey, I motivated you.
Yeah.
I encourage you. I got you started. I helped. All right, now I need somebody with tenacity to come help you finish, because my tenacity is none. Like, Like I just don't.
It ebbs and flows. Like you have a lot of tenacity, but you will not. Yeah, the closing of the circle will fall short sometimes. Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, you gotta, even though it shows why it falls short a lot because it's just not something that brings me joy.
Sure.
I don't need to finish a project to feel good. I need you to finish it, and then I feel really good. Like if I get you started doing something and you finish it, I am happier than if I stay home today and finish it. I'm just like, all right, it's another what I can do tomorrow. Like, who cares, But if you do something, I get really excited that you did it. And I'm like, then I helped you get started on it. Like, maybe you wouldn't have did it had I not helped you. I don't know, but I just get a lot of joy out of you doing something and accomplishing it. I'll do whatever I need to do, but I just don't get the same joy out of it,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The trouble as the employer is making sure that people take those tests honestly and not answering it for how they think you want them to answer it.
Mm-hmm. It is set up in a way. First of all, we didn't tell anybody why they were taking it, why we were taking it. And the name can trick you, It's the working genius test. It makes you think you're trying to see how smart you are. So you kind of know why you're taking it now. So your answers could be skewed a little bit, but we didn't let anybody know why they were taking it. And I think it helps you get a little bit more. And the way they ask like 100 questions different ways, but it's all really the same question.
Same question, yeah.
I think it kind of manipulates your brain to you eventually start answering it the way you feel to get over with the test. I think
Right.
It's something
I stop overanalyzing the question.
Yeah, just like this is definitely me. This is one. This is
yeah. 100%. I think I don't know that. Of course, I'm making that kind of part up. But
have you ever run into a situation where somebody's results was like polar opposite of what they actually were, and you had to sit down and ask them and be like, "Hey."
We took it a while ago, and I don't even know how far we went with analyzing down. We went pretty far though. We looked at everybody's, but I don't remember that happening. No, it was wild how everyone was spot on.
Really
like that makes so much sense now.
Yeah,
that guy is definitely that, or she is definitely happy in that place.
Yeah,
that place.
No, it really made sense for everybody. Not one person took it that I thought. Now,
what'd you get on that, by the way?
I don't remember. I think I liked. I brought joy out of helping others.
Enablement, then.
Yeah, enablement, and I don't remember what they are.
Yeah.
I don't remember. That's the only one I remember because that's my favorite thing. That's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I hate finishing stuff.
Yeah, tenacity was right.
Like all my honeydews around the house, I get them started.
It's at 10, half, like 80% completed project.
Right.
80%. I tell my wife all the time, listen, I saw this on Facebook. This is my favorite thing. Look, you didn't ask me once. You don't have to ask me every 6 months.
So before we get y'all out of here, I feel like we have to talk about actually what y'all do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking all this great things about your culture and your team and everything, but like, what do y'all actually do?
Who want to do this? Me? You? Yeah. So we are a turnkey flooring and countertop provider in the greater Baton Rouge area right now, and we go out to Lafayette and Mandeville, but we can do anything from a production home for a production builder to a remodel for a couple that's just buying a home that wants to fix it up to a custom home. We do labor only, material only. We can do the whole service for you. We can demo for you. But we like to refer to ourselves as the ultimate flooring and countertop solution. Like your solution for any of those needs. That's what we do.
Yeah. All your slab granite, your tile showers, your backsplash, your tub surrounds, wood carpet, pretty much. It's almost easier to say what we don't do.
Right. We don't do epoxy.
What do you not do?
Yeah, we don't do epoxy.
Yeah, we don't do like stained concrete and epoxy. We used to, but we just.
And we shouldn't repair subfloors that are on pier and beam. We've tried that a couple times, and
we're not. People get us mixed up with like a framer trade, you know,
really,
or like a concrete guy. That it's just they don't know, and we're so eager to help.
we've gotten better about that, saying
Way
like
better.
we don't do that well, or that's not our craft. But especially when we were growing, Jesse, we were 2 million,
Yeah.
and then today we're 15 million. So we when we were growing from 2 to 15, it's like, we'll do anything. Like, you need this plumbing fixture attached. Like, Jesse, you got a guy, call him, tell him to be at this job at this time. Right?
I can do plumbing, I swear.
Yeah, like, or Jesse and I will
Everything
go and figure
goes downhill.
it out. It does, and we learned that lesson the hard way. We got through all that, but today we're able to, do what we know we're great at, and there's some odds in, hey, you need that furniture moved here and there, we'll help you with that. If you need us to unhook your washer and dryer, since it's not your washer's plumbing, but we try to avoid unhooking plumbing stuff. But we've done a lot better about just focusing on what we're great at, and then trying to refer people for whether it's a subfloor where you need a framer, or maybe a concrete issue that we can't fix, or a plumber if we're demoing your shower and installing tile in it.
So was there a point in time where you've recognized we got to start saying no to some of these odd end requests and really tailor our services to what we're good at? I feel like Philip's over there smiling because he can think of a job.
Like, have you
something went
recognized
wrong.
that yet? Jesse's so great. Because he's willing to find. He's so good at finding a creative solution that nobody else can see.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've really ever brought a job to him. That's more me. We don't do that anymore. And Jesse's like, but we can find a way. Like
he'll say we don't do that, then he'll call me next week and be like, hey, you got a plumber done? Yeah. Like,
it's a trick question. I'm like, you should say no.
I think what it boils down to is we want to deliver the wow to you for whatever you need, right? And there's a fine line between like going out on a limb to do something we're not skilled craftsmen. We're not plumbers. So if something goes wrong, I don't even know how the valve of a plumbing thing works. I mean, we've pulled them off for people before and water starts squirting everywhere.
Brand new home.
Yeah.
Brand new home.
We didn't even know that could happen, So we just learned to try to stay in our lane. I mean, we do tile, we do wood, we do carpet, like, and nothing particularly happened. We just want to deliver the wow. So we try not to bite off more than we could chew, You got, in today's business is so fast paced. Look, I remember 20 years ago, and the pace of construction was not what it is today. 20 years ago, when we started doing granite countertops, you could do one kitchen a week and you would be successful. Yeah.
Really?
One kitchen, it was $90 a foot for Uba Tuba granite countertop. And if you came in my shop and bought 110-foot kitchen, I was getting 10 grand from you, and I could do one a week, and I could pay my 2 helpers, and I'd make a good living, right? Now you got to do 6 a day.
I was about to say, now you do like 1 an hour.
Yeah, but the industry's got like that. People want it faster, cheaper, better.
You can only pick 2 though.
Well, that's not true. We do it faster, cheaper, and better.
Really?
We do it faster, cheaper, and better than most. We're not the cheapest.
It's more cost effective. Yeah.
There you go.
Budget friendly.
I really do like when people say that. I'm like, well, we legitimately, our business model and everything we do, we try, to really hit all 3 marks. Now you do got to compare apples to apples. You can't go find a guy who has no office, who has no showroom, who has no insurance.
Well,
and you can't. That's just not realistic comparison. You know what I mean? Like if that's the guy you want, when we meet and greet you and get on a personal level and gather information, we figure out that's who you want by gathering information. And before we tell you, hey, we got the product for you. I'm gonna gather your information, see what you're looking for, and if that's what you're looking for, then we might refer you or somebody to that person. But that's just not. That's just not us. We're the size of company. We're insured. We're licensed. We get audited. We pay taxes. We got employees that's got benefits. And if you go to any other showroom or flooring store out there, we will be very competitive, if not better priced than they are. But you got to compare apples to apples.
yeah, you got to make sure you're looking at the same thing.
Correct.
Because it's
can get away from you if you got the one-off guy who's doing everything
There's
out of
no doubt.
everything out of his pickup truck and no insurance, no
And we're
anything.
honest with our clients. We tell them that,
Yeah.
you know, and we try to, you know, what do you say? You can't put a price on service, right? Like if you got a bottle of ketchup at Robert's and another one at Target or whatever, right? You can say this one's cheaper than that one, but we try to make sure our clients understand that, you know, our service, you know, brings something more to the table and justifies the cost that you're seeing on this quote.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, you know, hopefully we're going to be here in 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, if you're doing that 25-year shower or that 10-year shower, whatever that looks like. And so we're not going anywhere.
We're full service. When you come to us, we can take care of your project from start to finish. And not everybody can. Most people in town that compete with us, they're really like material only people that give you an installer, you know, or they're an installer who you got to go find your material somewhere.
Yeah.
When we give you an estimate, it can be overwhelming because we're honest with you. We don't give you a one at 10 grand. Hey, you need this tube of caulk. You need this drain cover. You need this drain bottle. You need this bag of thin set. You need this grout. Then you need this caulk to match this grout. Like, it's overwhelming, but we're trying to be honest with you and telling you what that is. We're not just saying, yeah, I'm gonna charge you $4 grand for your shower. Well, what is that? Where do you come up with that? You could take our price and go get on Amazon and say, well, I can buy this caulk cheaper. Okay, well, you got to get on there and you got to order it and you got to get it shipped in. You got to open the box. You got to tear the box down. You got to throw it away, you know, or you can give us another 50 cents and we'll do that part for you and it'll just show up installed.
Yeah. And laying out that scope is helpful to any customer. They want to know what it is they're getting and what they're paying for.
Yeah, we're full service. We do it all. We help you pick the colors. We love interior decorators because it makes our job easier. But if you don't have one and you don't know what goes and what's in style, we got great staff that'll help you design everything. If you're building a house and your budget just don't having someone assisting you and what brick matches your paint, what'll bring this tile together, what countertop, we handle that too. And we don't even charge you extra for it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days, but I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreau, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out, Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you.
So as we kind of start to wind down the show, we do have a set list of questions we ask every guest.
Awesome.
So y'all got that beforehand, right? You got the
We
little
did.
brochure?
I sent it to you.
I
Don't
know.
play with
Hold
me.
on. I started reading.
I know. So bad about
80% of the way you got through?
I did.
Can I be honest? The day you sent me the questions, I jotted down my answers and I lost them, and I don't have them.
Oh, so that's
Well,
perfect.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. We'll be going off the cuff.
I was
I
like,
love it.
I almost wish I wouldn't have seen them though, because that's going off the cuff, like you said. It's a little better.
So first one is, what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
I'll go first. Hold on, I don't got anything. Like, I love my life today. Like, everything I did as a kid that I still want to do, I feel like I can do.
I don't remember this question.
Yeah, well, I know it was like, this.
Did you change it up?
No, I
Right,
didn't change a
right.
thing. Changed nothing.
One thing I could do as a kid, man, life is really so good today. And like I hit on earlier, not even from like a material, just like the things I get to do every day. I'm unloading 2 containers at work with you today. I'm doing this. I'm going to coach 4th grade girls soccer team this afternoon. We're probably going to watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune with my kid. Like it's like I'm doing everything I want to do right now. But man, I grew up in a house full of siblings, and I mean, I could give you 10 answers. So I guess nothing. I don't know is my answer. Wow. I don't know. Yeah, you go. I'll chew on that a little bit more.
My answer's probably worse than yours. I legitimately do everything I did as a kid today.
I really feel that way. You probably do more.
I really do. Like, as I was a kid growing up, like I was obsessed with motorcycles, and I never had a brand new. My parents never could afford to buy me like a brand new motorcycle, But that was my thing, I went through other phases. I skateboarded one year or whatever. I played in the band. I played some drums. I did all these things. But one thing that never left my passion, that's motorcycles. Well, that's what I do. I bring other little kids and we go motorcycle riding and racing. And yeah, I legitimately do the passion I have from when I was a kid.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's great. See, that's a great answer right there.
I mean, how can you lose the like as a kid? Everybody has passion in something. Whether you were a dancer or wanted to be a chef or wanted to be a fireman, or like just do it. Just do it. Like why would you not?
It's really so true. Yeah. It's really so true.
Like, even if you got a job and you wanted to be a police officer, well, go volunteer. Like, yeah, if that was your passion when you was a kid,
you can make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So y'all have done a variety of things with the company. What are 3 lessons y'all have learned along the way?
I think this one's probably easy for me. Now, not just regarding business. I think everything is like the way we do anything is the way we do everything. So I think in general, just personally, that acts of selflessness will bring you more joy than you could ever imagine. Another one would be that I can tackle these challenges, this life, one day at a time, and not to make it bigger than it is in that moment, right? Sometimes I think we all can get into what I call future tripping and thinking about all these things we're trying to do. And thank God I cannot do it all today, right? So, like, let me focus on what I can do today and just kind of stick to that process where if I do my best today, all of those things that I'm trying to accomplish will work themselves out. And then I think one day at a time is big for me. Practicing selflessness for me brings me just tons of joy, whether it's at home or at work with clients or whatever, just really, doing it for the good of everyone and people. And then I would say, like, my purpose is bigger than myself, like more of that, like it's all bigger than me anyway. So like I'm here for not, like, it's not like what I think that what, I'm a Christian. So like for me in my life, it's important to know that like this is all bigger than me anyway. And when I look at it that way, the things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis become a lot smaller. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's what mine are. Yeah.
I like it.
I love that. So what is something you love about Baton Rouge?
The Tigers, right? And that maybe not. I mean, the Tigers, the food.
I'm the only person that's ever sat in this chair.
Oh God!
Watch football.
Don't say it. They'll never shop with us. They'll never buy from us. Don't say that. Yeah. The Tigers for sure. What you love about Baton Rouge? That's like easy for me. That's very, very easy.
Man, I love our culture. I love the different people that you're gonna run into. I love people. Like, I genuinely enjoy people. I'm not very, very outgoing. So if I'm in a grocery store, I might not like just walk up to somebody and talk to you. Not to mention I can't never recognize, like, I'll see you tomorrow and like won't recognize you at all. So if you see me and you recognize me, you gotta say, hey Jesse, everybody's got to do that for me, or I'm going to like not even know where I know you from or what's happening. Right. But I still love people. I love their stories. I love talking to them. The accents, we're Southern people down here, but there's just so many different groups and different ways people think. And it might be like that in other places. I'm not sure, but I really
love the people.
Yeah, I love the people and the culture around here. It's good. I love that everybody lives for hunting and football. I don't do neither, but I love that everybody else does, and I like hearing about it and talking to them about it. And I don't know, I just love the people around here. I think we're really a good community,
Yeah, we got a great group of people in the area.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand why more people aren't gravitated here naturally, I mean,
there's a variety of issues and concerns they may have from the outside. I think
part of it is to do with us promoting more negative over positive news, and people just truly unaware about stories of how things are the way they are, why they are the way they are, and the fact that we've got some really cool success stories happening here, and that was kind of part of the ethos for the show, was to get out and have people sit where y'all are and tell those stories. Get out and show you can go through failure of buying a motorcycle shop and crashing and burning, to getting fired, to starting a company, to running out of money, bringing on partners, and then now growing successfully where you've been for 20 years and taking it to another level. People sharing those stories is what I'm hoping will give that natural attraction to where we are and what we know by being here.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I think that ties into one of your questions. I remember that question. It's what can I do to help? Man, I think you just keep doing this, man. Like, this is great. I think it's a great way. You know, I do think we have a problem where young people are leaving Baton Rouge. And I think the more that you get people in front of you and promote your show and have people tell their stories of how they found success and how they found happiness and how they're able to build community, is going to do a lot of good for us the community, man.
You can do anything here. I don't know why somebody would think they have to leave this area to be successful. Like, what do you want to go to where there's more competition to what you're trying to do to be successful, or do you can? It doesn't matter where you go to be successful. You got to put in the time, energy, and effort to work, or you got to have a completely outside the box genius idea that rewards it. But at the end of the day, all companies, I guess not all, but they take hard work and dedication. And at the end of the day, you don't have to go somewhere to be successful. That's for sure.
Yeah, you can do it all here. There's
100%.
plenty of opportunity.
No, there's
here
no
to do
doubt.
it.
Yeah.
So then, I mean, you've already answered the question, Phil, before I even get to ask it, of what I can do to help, man.
Well, no, I'm sorry. You're doing a great job. I was so excited to tell you how good you're doing. You really are, man. This is super cool. You know, I was excited when John told me about it. I'd seen something on it before, and I wish, you know, I'm so glad you're doing it, but I wish there was like more of this going on in an environment like this, in a casual setting, so it's
how
awesome.
Do we get like the youth involved? You know, how do you do that? You know, how do you you know, I'm also a Christian. I have a calling from God to help underprivileged kids. You know, that's what he puts on my heart. You know, I got a passion of dirt bikes, and I got a calling to help, you know, underprivileged kids. And it's just like, if they could see this show and hear this show and hear people, how successful they are, man, it would give them some hope. You know, it would, if they knew they could run fast, they would run faster, you know?
Yeah. And that's what we try to do every day by getting it out and clipping it up on social media and putting it out there across those platforms, is hoping to get in front of those eyeballs to capture just one kid, just one person, to be like, I want to come and do something here. Or I know I can be better than I am today because of seeing what, you know, y'all went through.
That's
right.
So good. That's right. Yeah.
No,
So keep putting it out there,
please,
man.
Please,
And market it toward our youth. I think our youth needs it a lot more than, I mean, if you're 45 or 35 years old and you haven't like been running fast, or it's kind of like you can't run anymore almost, you know. I'm not want to say give up, but I think the kids just need so much. They need more. There's a lot of kids out there, especially in our area, that don't have father figures and don't have role models, and the ones they do have are not right, and they need to hear this show, man. They need to hear how people started from a credit card, and you know, they need to hear that kind of stuff, because they don't think it's even possible. They don't know that the avenues. A lot of business owners in this area had to start from somewhere, and not all of them were given their business, and not all of them had a parent who had money who said, "Here, I'll fund this. Go do it." You know, they had to work at McDonald's and Winn-Dixie and save up money and work 2 jobs and cut grass on the weekend and lay tile on the weekend, and while they were working their other job and their night job, and save up. And that's, you know, and you start, and then you don't stop until it multiplies. And I think the youth needs to hear it. So keep doing it, you know.
Yeah,
Keep doing it.
We'll keep churning out episodes every week with some
do it.
great people like y'all.
Nice.
Yep.
So
love
thank
it.
you
Good deal.
for coming
Thank you for
on,
having
man.
us, man.
Yeah,
This has been
thank
great.
you.
It really
This
has.
was fun. This was a blast.
I hope it was.
enjoyed
We're pretty wild. I hope we didn't scare you.
No,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we were like the tamest we've ever been.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
Because
yeah.
you know why? I feel like he had like a video and he was gonna like capture us.
Oh God, I
And
think
then
he
we
did.
were, and then we were gonna have like proof.
Yeah, we cannot yet. That's
Yeah,
so
we can't
funny.
let that out.
is so
We had to
funny.
keep some of that
That's
in.
too good.
For sure.
That's good, man. So
Good deal.
thank
All
you.
right.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
thank y'all
thank
for
you.
coming.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of the Patty G Show. I had a wonderful time with them in the studio. I loved hearing their story. Oh, my gosh. Like, within the first 5 seconds, we hear this crazy story of Jesse buying a motorcycle shop, it crashing and burning, him getting re-engaged, and then all of a sudden now he's buying a flooring store. Just absolutely nuts. And Philip coming on board at the right time, being in the right place. Phenomenal story. Y'all be sure to reach out to Assured Flooring and Countertops for all of your needs, and make sure to let them know that you heard about them on the Patty G Show. We will see y'all here next week.
Don't want a complication.